and welcome to another App State TV football spring practice report. I'm Karl Anderson reporting from Kid Brewer Stadium, where the Mountaineers wrap up their final day of preparation for their first big scrimmage on Saturday at 11:30. Three guys to keep an eye on for Saturday's scrimmage: all true freshmen, running back Terrence Upshaw, quarterback J.P. Caruso, and safety A.J. Howard, the latter two being early enrollees just wrapping up their second month at Appalachian, yet wasted no time earning some meaningful reps and made some plays on the field as well. As such, head coach Scott Satterfield and his staff are all very eager to see what their group of young talent can do over an extended course of live competition. We're going to continue with our coach profiles today, getting a chance to catch up with arguably the most passionate coach on the Mountaineer staff and a former Mountaineer himself, defensive line coach Mark Ivey. A native of Collinsville, Virginia, Mark Ivey graduated from Appalachian State in 1996 after lettering as a defensive lineman and linebacker from 92 to 95. As a senior, Ivey started 12 of 13 games on the defensive front to help lead the Mountaineers to a perfect 11-0 regular season and the 1995 Southern Conference Championship. Ivey immediately went into coaching high school football in 1996 and soon earned a head coaching position with Cypress Lakes High School in Fort Myers, Florida in 2002. Ivey moved on to Barron Collier High School in Naples, Florida in 2007, where he led his team to an overall record of 36-19, including 5 consecutive state playoff appearances and 3 straight district championships from 2007 to 2009.
Prior to being at Appalachian State, I spent 16 years at the high school level at 5 different coaching stops. And it does help me in several aspects, especially in the recruiting aspect, because I've sat on the other end of the table. And I know what it feels like for those kids that are getting recruited, because I've seen how it affects them when recruiters come in and speak to them and work with them and try to get them to come to their school. And it is an emotional time for those kids. So that, I think it does help me to be able to relate to those high school coaches as well as those high school players. It was an experience for me because I coached multiple positions at that level, and then the administrative end of it, being a head coach for 10 years, understanding that there's so many different things that can draw at a head coach and those types of things, and we as assistants need to make Coach Satterfield's life as easy as we can on our end so that he can handle all the big dogs and the big fish that he has to.
Ivey returned to his alma mater in 2012 to coach outside linebackers and serve as ASU's special teams coordinator. Now going into his 3rd season with Appalachian, Ivey has moved back to the trenches, where he will lead the Mountaineers' defensive line unit in addition to special teams.
It was something that I had spoken with Coach Moore about for almost 10 years, just back and forth, and it had never worked out just right for what he needed or what I would have needed at the time. But it was something I had been very interested in for a long time. And it worked out that there was a position available that I'd be comfortable coaching. I was excited to come back because I've always, whether as a player or just as a fan for the 16 years in between being here, always been in love with the Mountaineers and been in love with this place. So it was a great pleasure to come back and be back here after 16 years in Florida coaching high school football.
Huge on intensity, very big on intensity. If you can master the intense factor that he brings to the game, you'll be a great player under him. He's really demanding, but in a very good way. He expects a lot out of the players, but he's a great coach. He motivates you very well. He's a great motivator, and he's a good people person, I think. So he makes it fun to play under him.
It's a gift. It really is, because in football, to me, if you don't have a great passion for what you're doing, it's a shame that you're even a part of it because there's so much time and so much energy and so many tough things that you have to go through as both a football player and or a coach. But being able to come back to a place that I've had passion about makes it easy for me to be fired up about my career, about the things that I get to do on a day-to-day basis, because not only do I want to win because it's football, but I also want to win because anything we do is being productive for a place that I love, on top of being productive for the game that I love.
As mentioned before, Appalachian will hold its first major scrimmage of spring ball Saturday morning at 11:30. Be sure to check back with AppStateSports.com for all of your Mountaineer news. From Kid Brewer Stadium with App State TV, I'm Karl Anderson.
Stay in tune with the head coach of the Black and Gold by following Scott Satterfield on Twitter @WinTheGame.